The episode La Fiesta de Disfraces from Os Flintstones feels at first like another light-hearted romp through the prehistoric suburbs of Bedrock. But beneath its comic surface lies an exploration of social masks, ego, and the fragility of community image. Fred Flintstone's decision to attend a costume party turns into a mirror, reflecting not only his insecurities, but the collective performance of middle-class life disguised under cartoon humor. The story begins with Fred's eagerness to impress his peers, showing a side of him that is both relatable and tragic. His exaggerated gestures, his booming laughter, and his insistence on having the best costume in town signal his deep desire to be admired. In Bedrock, appearances matter more than substance, and the party becomes the ultimate arena for that competition. Wilma, ever the pragmatic partner, becomes the voice of reason, warning him that pride often leads to embarrassment. But Fred, stubborn as always, charges forward, convinced that the best way to win respect is to outshine everyone else. Even if that means ignoring common sense, the costume he chooses becomes symbolic. A knight, complete with stone armor and a papier-mâché horse, representing his illusion of grandeur. Throughout the preparation scenes, we sense Wilma's quiet exasperation. Her subtle sighs and half-smiles reveal more about marriage dynamics than any dialogue could. The humor of the Flintstones has always worked because it hides human truth beneath slapstick. When Fred parades his costume before the mirror, adjusting the fake sword and flexing his chest, the scene feels both comical and painfully accurate for anyone who has ever overestimated their own charm. The party itself is an animated microcosm of human vanity. Guests arrive in costumes that mix prehistoric absurdity with modern references. Barney as a magician, whose tricks fail spectacularly. Betty as a glamorous starlet, and Wilma dressed with quiet elegance that outshines Fred's bombastic attempt. The laughter, the music, the spinning colors of the dance floor all conceal a tension between self-presentation and authenticity. Fred, trying to make an entrance, trips over his own armor and crashes into the buffet table, covering himself in fruit punch. What could have been a simple gag transforms into a portrait of humiliation and human vulnerability. The laughter of others echoes in his ears like judgment. He tries to recover, insisting it was part of the act, but even Barney's sympathetic chuckle cannot rescue his pride. The deeper charm of this episode lies in its emotional honesty. Beneath the costumes, everyone fears being ridiculous. As the party unfolds, small details enrich the satire. A conversation between Wilma and Betty about costume choices becomes a reflection on gender expectations, with Wilma pointing out that women are expected to look beautiful even in disguise, while men can afford to look foolish. The writers, perhaps unconsciously, created a moment of proto-feminist insight wrapped in sitcom humor. Meanwhile, Fred's rivalry with another guest, Mr. Slate, escalates into a battle of pride. Slate, disguised as a Roman emperor, embodies authority and control, while Fred's knight costume, now torn and sticky, symbolizes his lost dignity. Their duel in front of the crowd, with fake swords clanking and the audience cheering, becomes an allegory of the worker trying to stand up to his boss, a recurring theme in the Flintstones. Yet when Fred accidentally destroys Slate's crown and the music stops, the silence speaks volumes. He is left exposed, not as a hero but as a man trying too hard to matter. The reconciliation that follows feels earned, not forced. Wilma's calm voice grounds him again, reminding him that love and humor survive embarrassment. In the final scene, Fred and Wilma walk home under the cartoon moon, their shadows stretching long across the stone road. Fred admits he may have gone too far, and Wilma responds with a laugh that dissolves the tension. It is a moment of genuine tenderness that reminds the audience why this animated series still resonates. It mocks human folly but never loses compassion. Watching it again, I found myself reflecting on the masks people wear in everyday life, on social media, at work, even among friends. Fred's costume is ours too, the armor we put on to be admired, to hide insecurity, to prove we belong. And like him, we all trip sometimes, spilling the metaphorical punch and facing laughter. Yet, as Wilma shows, what matters is not the fall, but the forgiveness that follows. The episode's gentle humor and timeless message stay with you long after the credits roll. In its simplicity lies its brilliance. A cartoon that holds a mirror to human pretension and invites us to laugh not at others, but at ourselves.